Most people spend their entire lives trapped in invisible prisons, not made of walls or bars, but of opinions. The need for validation, the desperate urge to be accepted. They smile when they're supposed to. They hide their thoughts. They conform to the expectations of others, thinking that's what it means to be good, to be likable, to be normal. But normal is a cage, and caring too much about what people think is the lock. The truth is, most people are not living. They're performing. You walk into a room, and without realizing it, you scan everyone's face. You adjust your behavior. You soften your voice. You don't speak your mind. You're not free. You're calculating, strategizing how to avoid rejection, how to fit in, how not to be judged. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that privilege comes at a cost. You cannot become who you are while desperately trying to be what others want you to be. From the moment we're born, we are shaped by the expectations of others. Parents, teachers, peers, society. Everyone has an idea of what we should be. And slowly, piece by piece, we abandon parts of ourselves to become acceptable. We kill our originality. We bury our truth. We shrink. Jung believed in the concept of the persona, the mask we wear to present ourselves to the world. It's not fake. It's a necessary part of social life. But the danger comes when we begin to believe that the mask is us, when we forget there's something behind it. That's when we lose ourselves. And here's where it gets dark. The more you care about what people think, the more power you give them to define your reality. You outsource your worth. You become a puppet, controlled not by strings, but by approval. And the most dangerous part? You don't even realize it's happening. You think you're just being nice, being considerate, or being professional. But what you're really doing is abandoning yourself. Jung introduced another powerful concept, the shadow. The parts of ourselves we repress, deny, or are ashamed of. Often we care so much about what people think because we're afraid they'll see our shadow, our flaws, our insecurities, our hidden desires. So we present a curated version of ourselves. We filter, we censor, we fake. But here's the irony. The more you suppress your shadow, the more it controls you. It leaks out in passive aggression, anxiety, perfectionism, and people-pleasing. You think you're being kind. You're just being terrified. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So when you care too much about what people think, it's not just a habit. It's a symptom. A sign that you've handed your identity to the crowd, that your unconscious fear of rejection is guiding your life while you pretend everything's fine. Let's be honest, most people aren't thinking about you. They're too busy thinking about themselves. And the ones who judge you? They're projecting their own fears, their own insecurities. The criticism you fear is often nothing more than someone else's shadow aimed at you. You are not the problem. Their fear is. You don't stop caring what people think by pretending you don't care. That's just another mask. You stop caring when you confront your fear, when you look at your shadow and make peace with it, when you accept that being disliked is not death, that rejection is not fatal, that being misunderstood is part of being real. You don't become free by being liked. You become free by being real. Jung's work teaches us that true individuality is not rebellion. It's integration. It's owning your light and your dark. It's stepping out of the persona and facing the uncomfortable truth that you're not for everyone. And that's okay. Because when you stop caring what people think, you don't become cruel. You become honest. You start saying what you mean. You set boundaries. You walk away from conversations that feel fake. You choose depth over popularity. You stop chasing attention and start protecting your peace. And that changes everything. But here's the trap. Your mind will resist this. You've been trained to equate approval with safety. Your brain is wired to seek acceptance because, evolutionarily, being excluded from the tribe meant death. So don't beat yourself up for caring. It's natural. But now, it's outdated. You're not in a jungle. You're not in a cave. You're in a world where individuality is your edge, not a threat. Start small. Speak your mind once a day, even if your voice shakes. Wear something you like, not what's trendy. Say no without over-explaining. Watch how people react. Some will be confused. Some will be offended. Let them. Because the ones who matter won't be surprised. They'll respect you more, because now they're seeing you. This is the process of individuation. Jung believed it's the central task of our life, not to become perfect, but whole. To stop splitting yourself to fit others' molds, to stop seeking permission to exist, to stop editing your personality so you can be loved. Because love that requires performance is not love, it's control. When you stop caring what people think, you don't lose connection. You create better ones. More honest, more raw, more fulfilling. You attract people who resonate with your truth, not your persona. And you repel those who only loved the mask. There's a strange kind of peace that comes when you realize you don't need to be liked to be worthy. You don't need applause to have value. You can walk into a room, say nothing, and still matter. That's power. But you won't find this power in self-help quotes or temporary confidence boosts. You find it in shadow work, in silence, in moments where you choose authenticity over approval. That's where your freedom lives. Ask yourself, what are you afraid they'll see if you stopped pretending? What truth are you hiding under your smile? Who would you be if no one was watching? Because that's the real you, not the polite version, not the filtered one, not the people pleaser. The real you might be messy, awkward, intense, but they're real. And real is rare. Real is magnetic. Real doesn't beg for approval. So how do you stop caring what people think? You start by realizing they don't think that much. Then you realize that their opinions are not gospel. Then you stop asking for permission to be yourself. You embrace the cringe. You own the silence. You walk your own way, even when it's lonely. And slowly, it doesn't matter if they whisper. It doesn't matter if they roll their eyes. Because you're not here to impress. You're here to exist. Fully. Fiercely. Freely. That's what Jung meant by becoming whole. You stop caring what people think when you finally care enough about what you think. When your inner voice becomes louder than the crowd. When your peace becomes more valuable than approval. That's when you're truly free. And the moment you taste that freedom, you'll never go back.